Hello, hello, hello. It is Tuesday already in the week. We've just come out of an Easter break and it feels I'm a little bit wobbly. I keep thinking it's Monday. Anywho, here we are, Tuesday. We're doing Clubhouse, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter, and welcome. Today, what are we talking about today? How to work with your competitors. Now, that might seem a bit odd, a bit strange. I've done it many times, but one of the things that I would suggest to you as a thought here, when I talk about your competitors, I don't want you to think about just the companies or the entities that are, I think I've got somebody joining me. Hello, I can't see you. I can't see you, but I can see you there.
Can't see me.
Yeah, I can't see you on the Clubhouse, but anyway, I can hear you. So that's the important thing. So Nick's on Clubhouse and I'm on StreamYard with everybody else, but that's fine. It's super weird, but I can hear you, so that's good. So how to work with your competitors is what we're talking about today. And I was just about to jump into, when we talk about competitors, who do you think that is? And I don't want the listeners here today to just think about the people who sell the same product or service as you, because I actually think it's deeper than that. It's the organizations or businesses that speak to your same audience. What do you think about that, Nick?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think this is a really interesting topic, particularly for those who are of kind of, your generation, my generation, and around that, because what is a real common theme now is this collaboration theme.
Yeah.
Where, you've got the current generation coming through in business. A lot of that is all around where can they form alliances and build collaborations, product partnerships, product/service partnerships.
Yes.
And really get a wider reach out there in the marketplace using and leveraging additional audiences.
And that's where I was going exactly with that. If you can identify who has the same audience as you, or an audience that you'd like, but maybe you don't have yet, it's then going to do going to do some research, and it can take time. Sometimes these relationships they won't happen overnight. But if you are really clear about who first of all, do you know who your audience is? That would be really important to identify. Do other businesses have the same audience? And then, which I've done quite successfully, is understanding those organizations that you may want to collaborate with, partner with, whatever word you want to use, but understanding where are the gaps in their service or offer, maybe some of their pain points, and how can you, coming in to talk to them, to consider collaborating, as the word you use, Nick, how can you solve some of those areas of pain for them, or to give them a wider reach, as you say, maybe your product complements theirs. That's a super important piece of research to do.
Yeah, so it's not just about going through and picking out, one and all competitors out there and just trying your luck, but more so about, as you say, doing a competitor analysis, looking at overlaying your business with these competitor businesses, and seeing where there can be some strategic alliance around perhaps something that your strong point is, and a competitor's weakness maybe, and vice versa. So that this is all about providing value. It's all about providing value to the marketplace, providing value to your customers, your potential customers, and by collaborating with competitors that offer what you may initially think to be the same, but perhaps a slightly different offering to combined might be a more powerful offering. I think that's point one here through this discussion. The second point I want to bring around this is that looking at these competitors, a great way to grow is identifying competitors that you can go and acquire.
Yeah, that could be a high, bigger discussion to be had, right? That can, who is it? What do they do? Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, and so looking at, okay, I want to grow, I've got ambition, I can spend the next 5, 7, 10 years organically growing this business, or I can look at my competitors, again, do a matrix, a competitor analysis of, strategically, which one of those competitors would be a great opportunity for me to go and acquire that business, and then, obviously grow my business through that acquisition. And an extension of that theme, a real extension of that theme is also to create a new joint venture entity where you go into a business partnership with a competitor.
Yeah, lots of choice here, right?
Not all competitors need to be enemies. I think that's the underlying theme.
Exactly.
Here today, is you don't need to look at all competitors as enemies. You can look at them as an opportunity.
Yeah. And so and you touched on it briefly before, the reason I did it a number of years ago, and the reason I proactively look to connect with businesses that have the same audience as Navigate, for example, is that what is the end result for the customer? So yes, you need to make this collaboration, this partnership, this acquisition seamless for your customer. So seamless for your competitor. You got to make it, you don't want to approach somebody if you're just going to go down the pathway of collaborating with them. You absolutely don't want to make it hard for them. You need to show where the win is for them, where the win is for you, why would you, but ultimately where is the win for the customer? And I think that is something that could get missed. You could get caught up by the new shiny toy of a bigger database, maybe more income for the business, but is it the right collaboration for your customer? If you've got a product or service, does this additional bolt-on services or products actually serve your customer, or does it enable you to serve a wider audience of customers? So I think we mustn't lose sight of that either.
That is important. That absolutely is important. What does it bring to the marketplace? But also, you want to be looking at, and behind that is, how do you make your business better?
Yes.
And better means achieving goals, dreams, aspirations. And when you can put 1, 2, 3 businesses together or more, then you start to build these synergies where you've got shared costs. I use the analogy, 1 kitchen, 2 restaurants. You've got these shared costs that sit in behind the business, so you can strip a lot of costs out.
Yes.
By putting a couple of, so just think we've got business owner A. As we often talk about and Navigate, is in the typical small business demographic. Maybe 1 or 2 people in the business, less than $500,000 a year, finding it tough, struggling. And you got business B in a similar position, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. Struggling by, head above water, just good months, bad months, good years, bad years. 1 step forward, 1 step back, and just bobbling along. Now, if we look about a joint business put together, and let's call it business A plus B. Then becomes over $1 million turnover, costs
shared, reduced.
Costs shared, which ultimately combined get reduced. More skills to the business, more capacity to the business, better lifestyle for both business owners, and ultimately should, not always, but should equal a much better profitability and sustainability for the longer term.
And I know when I've done it in the past, and this is a definitely consideration, like business A and business B, as you say, one may have some great systems that maybe your business B, and you haven't implemented those, and they, the fact that you don't have them means that maybe the journey's a bit clunky, or maybe it's not cost effective. So the wins can be integration of systems between the two businesses. And obviously what you need to do is do a full review of, what does each business do? How does each business do it? Which one has the most cost effective and greater return on investment for systems as well? So it's not just combining databases, having a broader depth of product or services, but it's also, as you say, it's efficiencies within the business. And so, that can be a massive win. What I found very important when I did it a number of years ago was having an intimate understanding of the industry that you're in. Now, everybody listening might go, well, yeah, I'm a cafe and I know it inside out, or I'm an accountant, I know it inside out. But you really need to make sure that you are deeply clear about it. And what are your competitors doing if they're in the same industry? Why would you connect with them if it's just for a database? You've just got to be really clear, because there's no point going and talk to them if you can't show them the win that might be, the win that comes out of this collaboration, purchase, acquisition, collaboration. It could be any one of those stages. Deeply understand your industry and what is done well and what's not done well, and how can this collaboration, etc., provide some wins for all parties, because it needs to be a win for all parties.
Oh, absolutely, and not every or necessarily any competitors is going to work.
No.
But certainly by doing the skills matrix, going through there, and above all, just getting out there and talking to these people, getting to know who they are, what they do. Again, we go back to not all competitors are necessarily the enemy, and it serves your interest and the interests of the marketplace and your customers for you to actually know who these competitors are.
Yeah.
So get out there and talk to them, and then go wider than that. That's kind of aligned industries, aligned businesses.
Yeah, complementary. Yeah. Again, they may have the same audience, but they have completely different products to you, but they are aligned, and it makes sense to put those together. One of the things that some people might be thinking about watching or listening to this is, oh, well, I don't want to jump in and just, collaborate with these people. I know we spoke about this morning in our meeting, in that you've got to get to know that person. You don't want to just go in and date them immediately. One of the things that have been a successful way to understand if this is going to work is to maybe create a pilot program or a pilot project that you can test the waters, because sometimes you don't know until you actually get into the nitty-gritty. And so, both have a clear understanding that this is not necessarily something that's definitely happening, but let's do a pilot. It seems right. Audience is the same. It's complementary. There's a win for both of us, and work that pilot program thoroughly before you take the next step.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Test the waters.
Yeah. And be prepared to accept. I think with that comes, be prepared to accept feedback from both sides. You need to be prepared to give feedback and receive it. So, leave the ego at the door, as I'm often known to say. So accept that, okay, accept that there will be some glitches, because there always are. There's little hiccups along the way. Maybe the communication has been as great as it could have been. So be prepared to give feedback, receive it, and then come back together and go, okay, this worked well. Why did it? Why didn't it? What can we learn from it? What is the next step? What is the next logical step from here? That can be, and be clear about what KPIs you want at the end of it. What is the expectation? What will happen at the end of this thing? Is there a particular return on investment, a particular number of customers, a particular number of sales? What is the expectation? Be really clear about that at the beginning, because even for the pilot, because otherwise you don't know what you're measuring. You're not sure if you can measure. How can you measure that it's worked?
Yeah, and look, I think above all else with this thing, because this is quite a weird theme for I think a lot of typical small business owners to be talking about this and their competitors. But what we do know each and every day is that we hear that I don't have enough money,
Yeah.
I'm not making enough money.
Not enough time.
It's not working.
Yeah.
I don't have time.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get away from the business.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's all of these things that if you're sitting here listening to this, that I'm sure you will have heard yourself say.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard. I don't have enough hours in the day. I can't get to everything. I can't get away. I can't all the things that I actually wanted out of owning this business, I can't get.
Can't get to, yeah.
And so what we're talking about here is this concept is essentially doubling all your resources in the business, doubling all the database, doubling all the customers, maybe more or less, but depending on what the other side of the business is. People get hung up in their share of ownership of the business. You know, this is probably, I would say, from a very mature business owner and last decade or decade and a half of investing in other people's businesses and get so hung up on ownership.
Yeah, I want to hang on to it.
What it's worth. And it's actually a very simple equation. Because you can sit there and own 100% of basically a sentence that is of struggle street.
Yeah. Not working.
Ahead,
no profit.
Step forward, step back. Or you can look at, hey, here's a business that is similar. Maybe it's the same. Everyone's bringing equal to the party. Or maybe one's a little bit bigger than the other. And it's what's the total profitability of each business? What's the total stock holding of each business? It's very simple to work out a percentage of where you sit. So this concept, which may sound foreign and may sound difficult to do, and you may have concern about giving away share, and it doesn't actually have to be 50-50. It's very simple to work out which business is bringing more to the table just through not just the revenue, but the profitability, the database size,
systems,
and the amount of stock that's in the business.
And as you say, this is something that a lot of business owners may not have thought about. Because they don't, they have this, you can't see me, but I'm clenching my fist because they want to hang on to this business 100%. But if it's not working, like a percentage of something is better than a percentage of nothing. If you're heading down the path of not doing well and no profitability, well, but you've got a database and you can bring something to the table for this competitor or this co-collaborator, surely that's worth having a conversation with and considering a pilot program. As I say, you don't have to jump into bed straight away. That can be quite dangerous if you react too quickly and don't do the due diligence. It's the same as anybody who goes to buy a business. You really need to be thorough and clear about the performance of each other's businesses and what are the strengths that they bring. So, again, leave the ego at the door and be prepared to go, well, I'm skilled in these things, but I have some gaps here, but we've got these positives in our database or systems or whatever, and have both parties, as you say, put this matrix together. And do you create, therefore, a full picture of what a business needs? It needs various skills and all those sort of things, and systems and processes and profitability. And does that equation add up to that profitability piece once you've done that skills matrix? So there's a fair bit of work to do to work out who you might identify as a potential collaborator, partner acquisition, and then really take the time to work it through. And at the end of the day, it may not work out, but there's a good chance you've learned a lot about you and about what is happening out there, and with other businesses out there that are in the same sort of audience as yours. So there's going to be a lot of learnings out of it, and you've got to be prepared to do that work and not jump in too quickly.
Yeah, and I think, summarising it all there is, it may sound foreign, but I think every business needs to do this. Like, we talk about getting over that hurdle of 2 million a year turnover, 5 or more staff, and certainly creating a larger entity through integration of other businesses is a really, really great and easy way. Easy way to do it, because to me it is much easier than growing the business organically over a bunch of years.
Period of time.
Which is the reality, is most people would never ever get to that point.
Yes.
And what would you rather have at the end of the day? Do you want to have 100% of a $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year turnover business, or 25% of a $2 million business. Like it's
simple maths.
No-brainer. And we always talk about the the importance of having a team in your business. We talk about the importance of being able to get the ideas out,
sounding board,
share those ideas, sounding boards, having the pick-me-up moments within each other. And when you've got someone that is bringing some other experience, in a similar industry there, to be able to go through and talk about those things, that is building your team.
Yeah, it's all part of it.
It's not costing anything.
No, and it is so valuable that you almost can't put a value on it, because a fresh set of eyes can bring a different perspective to your thought process. And I know that works really great for us at Navigate with Nick and I, in that I think differently to you and you think differently to me, and we can sometimes come up with ideas just by having a great strategic conversation. So think of that as well as a massive win for you and your business, and for them, right? It's going to go both ways. So what have we got this week? So we've got a couple of things this week going off. So we've got a tutorial on Thursday at 1:00, and that is about how do you keep your customers and put your price up. So we're very aware of the concern of a lot of people out there today, and that was part of our live this morning, is about the increased cost of living, all those sort of things. So if that interests you, that is a free tutorial. Go to our website, naviga biz.com, and you'll see free tutorials. But the other fantastic thing, if this is something, doing a project to look at who could you collaborate with, who could you partner with, who could you maybe buy, Biz Bootcamp is the answer for you, because that's going to create a fantastic plan. And first mentoring is this Friday. So, it is definitely not too late, and you'll find us on that website as well. So if this resonates, this is where you need to be. And the final shout out, if you're listening or watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We have got a goal of 1,000 subscribers. We're getting there, but we want more of you. We know a lot of you are listening to this and watching it. So go get onto YouTube, turn on your notifications, and then when we're live. And we're live regularly, like we've done 2 today now, which is and 2 completely different topics, all about business growth though. So look forward to seeing you all on Thursday. We'll be back here on Thursday with another live about more business topics. So can't wait to see you. Jump into the tutorial and jump into Biz Bootcamp.
Sounds great. I'll catch you later, and hope to see a bunch of you at the Biz Bootcamp on Friday.
Indeed.
You want to get your business growing, get a change of direction, and get a better business and a better life. Come and join us in the Biz Bootcamp. So jump on navigatebiz.com. Catch you there.
See ya.